Hi everyone, it's Danny. Welcome back to another process video for the Cocoa Vanilla Studio Design team. I'm making a layout today using this photo of myself. This was at my 29th birthday dinner. I'm at Montezuma's, which is a Mexican restaurant here in Australia, and I am drinking a frozen lemon margarita, which is my absolute favorite cocktail in the world. So this was a few years ago. I am quite a few years behind on my scrapping, but that's okay. I'm working on my 2016 album at the moment, so that is the album that this photo belongs in. And I'm going to be working with the absolutely beautiful, gorgeous, unforgettable collection. I love this collection. I still have quite a bit of it left because I have purchased quite a bit of it. I have quite a lot of it in my stash. So our assignment for this week was to feature stars or stripes, and I use both on this layout. So I wanted to use this grey stripe. It's actually more like a chevron stripe background, so that's going to be my background paper. I really love that paper. And if you're wondering which papers I'm using, all the names for all the individual papers and bits and pieces that you use on the layout will be listed in the blog post. So that will be listed in the description box. So if you want to go and check out all the bits and pieces I used, it will all be linked in the blog post. Okay, so I'm going ahead with this beautiful pink, it's a pinky peachy floral. And I'm just trimming that down to make a large square. I'm going to do a bit of a modified grid layout this time. I haven't done one in a while. And I want to use a full-size 4x6 photo, so this just makes my life a little bit easier with that. So I've just backed that entire square in some white paper, and I'm going through and distressing all the edges. I'm just using my little fussy cutting scissors to do that. I still don't have an edge distresser in my stash. I really need to pick one up. It's just something I keep forgetting to do, and it's obviously not super high on my priority list, so I just use my scissors. Now I'm going through with my fingernails and the tips of my fingers and just putting in a bit more texture. And you can see I've just run that through my sewing machine quickly, just around the edge. And I'll use a little bit of machine stitching on this layout actually to add some texture. So that's where my photo is going to go, and I'm just going to use some bits and pieces from the rest of the collection to fill in the rest of that square. So I've cut that piece out of the cut apart sheet. That's going to be a good spot for my journaling. I'm going to back it on the wood grain from, is that from the 6x8 paper pad? I'm not sure if that one is from the full size 12x12 or from the 6x8, but I will double check, and like I said, it will be linked in the blog post. So I'm going through with this scripty word piece of paper, and I've never thought, I don't know why, I've never thought to cut these out, but I was trying to find the title that I wanted for this layout in the foam titles, and I couldn't find exactly what I wanted, and they were just a little bit too big for this little title card that I have. And I looked at that scripty paper and I thought, hey, there's lots of words on there. I could probably fussy cut those out. And honestly, it really wasn't too difficult. So I'm just going to go ahead and fussy cut out memories and captured. And this really didn't take too long at all. I'm surprised actually how easy these were to fussy cut out, but I'm definitely going to be doing this more in the future because that gives me lots and lots of titles to work with, and they're a nice medium size as well. So again, a little bit more distressing. I distress quite a bit on this layout. I really enjoy edge distressing, so I tend to do it quite a bit. I'm going to do the edges of this journal card, and I think I'll do, the edges of the wood grain as well. And I'm just going to quickly run this through my sewing machine too. Once I have these two pieces stuck together, I'm just going to run the edges through my sewing machine just with some white thread and machine stitching. There you go. So my title will sit just in the middle there. I just pulled in some of these stickers out of my stash. I'm just literally using that white sticker with the Golf World Happy Birthday on it, just to really make it clear that this is a birthday layout, because in my mind, these photos were actually from a end of semester uni celebration dinner, but when I looked at the date I realized it was actually for my birthday, so I forgot myself what the event was, so I need to make sure that when I look back on the layout that I know it was actually for my birthday. So I've just cut some of that mint and white stripe paper that was from the 6x8 paper pad. I just like that the print is a little bit smaller, so I have pulled off this tag off the sticker sheet just threading some twine through it. I really love that little floral tag. I'm surprised I haven't managed to use it yet, but there you go, we get it on this layout. I'm just trying to decorate this little card here because, yeah, it's not going to have anything else in it. So I like that Photo Stories sticker, so that goes there. I've just pulled in this little piece from the die cut pack. I just like that it's black, so it really breaks up those two stickers that are quite predominantly white. They're kind of faded into each other. And to continue breaking those up a little bit, I'm just going in with my little Pigma Micron pen and outlining that tag, and then I'm going to outline this sticker with some faux stitching. So I really like black machine stitching, but I really hate changing the thread on my machine, so I tend to just use white when I use my machine, and if I want to add black, I use a pen and just fake it. So that's another little tip. If you don't have a sewing machine, you can just use pen and put in faux stitching and you get the same effect. So this last little piece, I'm going to use some more of that wood grain, and again I'm trying to use some more stripy pattern papers. So I've used that mint green stripe and I've used the grey stripe in the background, and then this wood grain, while it's not technically a stripe pattern, it has got that stripe effect. Again, some more 6x8 pattern paper. I'm using this typewritten words pattern paper. I did pull out the 12x12, but like I said, I really enjoy the fact that the prints are a little bit smaller in the 6x8 paper stack, so you get more of the typewritten words, and it was a very small piece at the bottom of my photo here. So I just stuck that down. Now I'm going to go through and just adhere all these squares down and make sure they're not going to move around as I continue to embellish. I could have done this earlier, but just a little bit of a, issues with committing just in case I wanted to move things, but I know at this point that nothing really can move too much, so it's easier just to start gluing down. So I'm just using a little bit of wet glue behind these words. These would look really great popped up on a bit of dimensional foam, but they are quite slim, the pieces, the letters, so you'd have to really cut the foam very very thin, and I really could not be bothered doing that. So I'm just flicking through the die cuts here. I'm trying to find some to fill in this little spot here. I quite like the camera and I like those tags, but the two pink tags together were bothering me, so I did switch it out for that minty green tag, and I popped on that treasured banner as well. Now I'm going through with my journaling. I'm just putting in a few lines about the date and which year of birthday it was and where we were and what I was drinking. Popped in one clear sticker. I really like that butterfly. I did look at which others I could possibly get on there, but none of them really worked. So I've just trimmed off my branding strip. I haven't actually glued down that big pink square yet, so which is handy because I want to do some black splatters. So I'm just watering down some black acrylic paint, just making it just runny enough to do some nice big splatters with. And just splattering those. I'm concentrating them mostly on this diagonal corner to corner pattern, but I will do a few smaller splatters on the other side. I just want to do the really big ones in this diagonal, just to kind of draw your eye through the photograph. So I'm just going through and finishing off those splatters, and I'll cut to in a minute to making a few little star embellishments. So these are just ones that I am making out of pattern paper. I'm using the 6x8 paper stack again because of the smaller print back of the pattern paper, and then fussy cutting them out. I've used the black and white spot and the minty green. It's almost a solid. It's got a bit of a watercolor effect, and those gold stars I just had in my little bowl of punched out shapes there. I've added these little die cuts, the banner, the fishtail banner and the little pennant banner, just to fill in that empty space in my photo. And I'm strategically placed these stars to cover up some of the people that are in the background of the photo. I really should have edited my photo to blur out the background, but I didn't, and it's already printed, so I'm not going back. Strategically, I am just using them to fill in some of the empty spaces. So at the bottom of my photo here and at the top of the journal card I was looking a bit bare, so that's where I put those. I'm just gluing down this large square now finally, now that I have everything else done. And I will just take my pen and outline those white and black stars just to define them a little bit. And then as a finishing touch, the very last thing I'm going to add is some of the enamel dots. I already have 3 groups of 3 of the stars, so I'm just going to add 2 enamel dots to each of the little clusters to create a cluster of 5 objects, just kind of trying to keep those odd numbers going. And then just to border my page, I will take my Pigma Micron pen and just do a sketchy black border just to try and tie everything together. And that will be my layout all finished. I really hope you enjoyed joining me today. Don't forget to go check out the blog and the Facebook group. The links will be in the description box below. Close-ups are coming up, and I'll see you next time. Bye.